Mama's a crash out dummy, baby. Oh my god. Like, I'm gonna fight you. I wanna bite you.
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. And today, we're gonna be talking about Bad Boys. And y'all, the reason why I didn't do the last episode just because it said part 1, and part 1 looked like it was like a filler episode. So I was just like, okay, I can really speed through that when I get to part 2. Part 2 gave us more of the meat and potatoes of what we need to talk about. But y'all, like, comment, subscribe.
Spinning all around. Bad boys fall to the ground. Walking drunk and sober now. Don't use and I see how. Yeah, 2 degrees, make you want to freeze. Hit your ass.
So when I'm watching the episode, first of all, part 1, speed through, Prince left, and you know, everybody's celebrating Colton's birthday. I did talk to Prince a little bit on Instagram, and he gave me a discography of his experience. Him leaving, I didn't think that he would leave. He didn't hint to that, so he didn't really spoil that for me. So when he left, I was just like, what? He leaving? What? But basically saying that he's trying to make sure that his hand gets healed. Woo, woo, woo. I don't know if they're going to have a reunion or not, but babes, if they do, it'll be interesting to see how that's going to turn out. But also Noel leaves. Noel's just basically saying, like, you know, this is not really good for my mental health. I want to make sure I leave. The only thing for me with Noel is the fact that I feel like nobody was really trying him at that moment. Like, I think he would have been like unscathed.
I did what the fuck I had to do. I can't turn shit the fuck up like I always do. Y'all already know how I give it up every single motherfucking time. I ain't backing down from shit.
But maybe he probably felt like, you know, in that moment he didn't want to really go back and forth, play the radio with any bitch. So he was just like, you know what, let me just go ahead and pack my bags and go. So for me, that was really a little bit disheartening because I really like Noel. I felt like I understood his POV. I understand like what he stood on. So good for Noel, you know, it is what it is. But like I said, they're celebrating Colton's birthday, and I found out that Colton has a boyfriend. So, you know, it surprised me.
My man did not want me to do this job. Talk through everything, because I did some things that weren't my favorite.
When I see Colton over here with Vaughn, you know, everybody's cheering and, you know, all that woo woo woo. So Colton's over here, you know, just hugged up on Vaughn. They had a conversation earlier in the day. So, you know, they just basically talk about what happened the other night. Like, you know, we fought, but, you know, I just did that just because, you know, you was popping it. We asked you thing 1 or thing 2, and, you know, you got the responses you wanted. So it was what it was. You know, now they seem like they're really huggy-duggy.
I like it too.
Get out of my face. Fuck, I think you're cute and then you got my face.
They bring him a cake. They're all celebrating. Cool. So we see them at nighttime. They really cuddled up, you know, really cupcaking and shit. I'm just like, okay, but you have a boyfriend. So he even says, like, you know, there's some things that I have done that, you know, my boyfriend didn't want me to come on the show. He was very skeptical, and we see why. Colton just seems like he's a very flirty guy, and he just likes to, he seems like a free spirit. He gives me summer vibe from baddies. So I get it. I think for me, if I was on this season, right, I felt like me and Colton, we would have hit it off first day. I'm like, oh, he is lit. He's having fun. It is cool. Like, you know, cool. We would have had a good time. I say, if I go anywhere, I want to go out to the club every day. I like to party. I like to have a good time. I'm a socialite in DC, so that's just the life that I live, right? However, day 2, I think that's where my nerves would just start being tap danced on. I just feel like with Colton, he just presses a button and he lives his life authentically him, and he wants to, you know, walk the beat of his own drum, and he does what he wants to do, which, look, I'm cool with it. I just think that when you're that type of person, actions have reactions, and the consequences are from the actions that you provide.
Just drop Colton's just a messy bitch.
So at this point, I really can't blame whatever happens to him because he asks for it every time. So, like I said in the new episode, everybody's over here just chilling, just having a good time. It's nighttime, you know, cool. So they make a toast, and Hezzy's just like, you know, I appreciate you guys all being here. First of all, they all shout out like, bye princess, and basically saying bye to Prince. And I'm just looking at Colton like, you was cool with Prince though. And you talk about who's Prince. And I'm just like, you was cool with him though, and the switch up is kind of crazy. But I mean, you knew him for like 2 days or a day, so I guess I get it. But I don't know, the switch up is kind of crazy.
Feel because I'm starting to speak of myself, but like, but no matter how much like who I follow or whatever, like I just want you to know it's an amount of respect that was built.
But with that being said, like I said, they said bye princess, and you know Prince had to go, and he left. So they do the toast. Hezzy's over here, you know, he's like, look, I appreciate all you guys, like regardless if we fought or not, I still have some sort of respect for you, and you know, I appreciate you guys in the house. I feel like we all met for a reason. And Mary basically, you know, said the same thing, like, you know what, we fought, we did what we had to do, you know, I came out on rah-rah, you know, you just automatically popped, it was what it was, I respect you, if you respect me, it was what it was. So I was like, cool. Everybody seemed like they're on one accord. They're over here eating like croissants with like Philly cheese and fries. Girl, like he was saying, they drunk, they've been drinking damn near day sun up sundown, so they just like, we need some food on our stomach. So that was cool. So we see some of the girls over here in the kitchen, but we also see Vaughn over to the side. He's like, oh, you know, I just let, you know, drop my pin, let people know that I'm in San Diego. So club that DJ is hosting that, he was like, oh, I want you guys to come to this club, like getting this booking, woo, woo, woo. Cool. While that's happening in the kitchen, an argument erupts because Mary and Hezzy, I guess they got beers, and Hezzy was basically telling everybody, like, if you want a beer, cool, that's fine. Just let me know, and you know, I can keep track of whatever. What?
Who gives a fuck? I'm choosing not to do that. Okay, so that is the bottom line of it. What I'm saying is, that's my bitch. When I say bitch, I ain't paying for these motherfucking beers, bitch. You know, bitch.
So Colton, he goes into the refrigerator, gets a beer, didn't say anything, and Hezzy is irritated. He's just like, I get that you drunk, and I get that you over here doing your own thing. It's your birthday, but I just set a boundary for me. I set a boundary of please ask before you take, like, you know. And then Colton's just basically like, girl, I don't give a fuck, it's my birthday. And this is where the disconnect is going to come for me with Colton, because it's just like, yes, my whole thing with Hezzy is I feel like you're arguing with that wall. You know this girl is drunk, and you know she's going to pop it. So at some point you're going to have to restrain yourself not to knock this bitch out. However, Colton, girl, you're asking for drama.
You was wrong, homegirl, for going to them beers.
Because he just clearly said, if you want anything, just ask. I have no issue giving it to you guys. I just want you to respect me by asking. I don't know, is Hezzy a Virgo? Because I'm a Virgo, and that sounds like some shit I would do. So I don't know, but I'm just looking at Colton like, girl, you're steady crossing boundaries, and then you want to play it off like, well, I was drunk. Okay, I get that. Like, cool, you could be drunk, but at some point, I've been drunk plenty of times, but I've never been to the point where I'm disrespecting people. I've never been to a point where I just don't give a fuck about people's common decency. So it's just, I don't know. I just feel like Colton just can't hold his liquor, or he just doesn't give a fuck. It's one of those two.
Not grab another beer, bitch. But if you grab another beer, bitch, it's up. I don't care. What is the problem? Right now, what?
So like I said, they go back and forth, they argue, and then Colton's really aiming at it, like, girl, I really don't give a fuck, so what about it? And I'm just like, you saying these little catchphrases, you saying these little quotes, and it's like, these quotes and catchphrases might get your ass beat yet again, because it's just like, you're talking about, okay, I did it, and what? That and what might get you fucked up, because girl, you don't need to add that. Like, you can say what you gotta say, but don't provoke the situation even further to now you want me to do something to you. Because we can do that. It's not even a problem. Okay? Trust me. I work out, and I hope you do too. So, Hezzy's just like, you know, it is what it is, blah, blah, blah. So, Colton's just confused, because he's just like, Hezzy's over here just mad at me, and I'm just living my life and just doing my thing. I just got a beer. It's just whatever. So, he was just like, maybe it's sexual tension, maybe it's something, I don't know. So he just told Hezzy, like, girl, like, is it sexual tension? Like, do you want me? Do you want something from me? What is it? And then Hezzy's like, no, bitch, what you could do, you know, if you want to suck some dick, suck my best friend. It's getting spooky, because I heard some behind the scenes from Mr. Prince about some of the stuff that was going on. Girl, but what you know? So, like I said, they get ready for this booking, and everybody's over here geek, because it's just like the bad boys are going out, they have on booking, and for me, I'm just like, this makes sense.
Y'all know our name is already ringing bells in the motherfucking cities in the States. You know what I'm saying? That boy's so bad. Let us show y'all how we get down. So, you know.
This is what I want to see. Like, damn near the whole cast is over here mid-20s to 30s, and for me, I'm just like, okay, this makes sense. Like, if you're on a show and you have a brand, that makes total sense. Like, for me, Brian Keith, the real Brian Keith, that is my brand. That's the brand that I'm building. So I want to protect that brand and that image. Cool. So when it comes to brand, especially as a grown-ass adult, both Hezzy and Vaughn has the messy besties, but I feel like they also have their outside individual personalities. Hezzy, he does veneers and all these different things. Like, he has a brand behind him. Vaughn is the same way. He is a socialite where he comes from. So it's a brand about yourself. So when it comes to Colton and, you know, the shenanigans that's about to come on, I'm just looking like, girl, I cannot stand behind you. I cannot. But we're going to get to it. So they all are going out. They're over here geeking because they got this booking. I think one thing I want to ask Hezzy is the fact that why don't y'all do bookings at gay clubs?
This is a straight rooftop party. Me and my best friend do not do gay events and things of that sort. So
I mean, they were like, oh yeah, we don't do bookings at gay clubs. We just do it at straight clubs, blah, blah, blah. And for me, I just don't get the ideology behind it. But like I said, it's not me. I just want to know why. But outside that, you know, they get to the club and everybody's like, hi, having a good time. And Colton gets to the door and the guy was like, oh, something. He was just like, oh yeah, I got a big dick. And the guy was like, what?
Yeah, for my big dick. What happened? I don't know.
And I get it. It's just like, girl, this is a straight club. You're over here. You know how people are. You know how people can be offended by something like that, and you're already slurring the word, so it could be misinterpreted to something else, and it could be offensive and disrespectful. So I can see why Hezzy was already on 10, just like, girl, what are you doing? We're at our booking. We invited you on, and you're over here saying certain things that can really get you kicked out and get us kicked out as well. So you need to be respectful to the people that's at the door and service people. I am a big person on service people. Like, when somebody's serving you and somebody's over helping you out, you know, make sure they're good. Make sure that you're over here treating them with respect. When it comes to tipping, I make sure I tip, but this is so side note, but when it comes to tipping, I make sure I tip, but to be honest, the establishments need to pay their motherfucking workers more. That's what they need to do. But Tucci's out.
Our brand, and this is my brand that we got records. These niggas booked us for my CD from A here.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god.
With that being said, they get into the club and some girls was like, oh, are y'all from the Bad Boys? Like, everybody was just like, oh, here, amped, like, oh god, the Bad Boys. I was just like, that's cute, you know, they got a little bit of notoriety, you know, it really put, you know, some people in the rooms. For me, when they were talking about, oh, we only go straight, that's straight, the club gave gay.
Light it up, strike the match up, and run.
I don't know. I'm just like, I see a lot of ass shaking, booty shaking, twerking, niggas kissing, people sucking. And I'm just like, okay, this give me a gay club. But it's just like, whatever. So everybody's over here, cool, having a good time. Colton's over here on 1000, shaking his ass on the tables, on the couches. Mind you, like I said, do your thing. I think Hezzy and Vaughn at that point, mostly Hezzy, I think that he's calmed down, he's dancing with everybody, cool, having a good time. So I was just like, cool.
Up to me telling me how Remy was dick riding, and I'm telling her like, okay, if Remy dick riding, address her.
Hezzy goes to Mary, and he's just like, yeah, I feel like Remy's over here dick eating Hezzy. And Mary's just basically like, okay, if you feel that way, clock her, let her know. I'm just like, oh, girl. So, Colton takes Remy to the bathroom, and they basically talk about it.
I said, why you don't like me? He's like, cause you're dick riding Hezzy's dick. And I'm like, I don't ride no dick but my nigga. Right now, in this moment, who do you give a fuck about?
She's just like, yeah, girl, I think you're over here dick riding Hezzy. And then she was just like, girl, how am I dick riding, blah, blah, blah. But then it gets to like, girl, look what you're doing. You over here talking about me, but look what you're doing. You over here have a boyfriend. You're over here kissing people. You're over here dancing with people. I haven't danced with no man. No this, no that, this and the third. I'm just like, oh shit. Like, what's really going on? Because it just seemed like the whole conversation made a turn. But they get back outside. First of all, Colton falls asleep at least twice. But then it seems like he wakes up, he gets rosen, and he over here start arguing with Cash, and basically Remy was just over here popping, talking, oh yeah, she wants to fight me, and Cash is like, fight her.
Fight him! Fight him! Fight him! We're fucking busy right now.
fight her. And Cash has a confessional. I'm looking like, Cash, you do sound like a hypocrite. Because Cash was like,
we're out over here making money. One thing about a bad boy,
he loved doing that.
One thing about a bad boy is bad boy stands for themselves. They make sure they have some kind of couth and decorum when they go motherfucking out. This is what a bad boy do. And a bad boy should always be over here standing for themselves and make sure that they don't over here fight and mess up our bucket. We gotta make our motherfucking money. You gotta be about your motherfucking money.
All trying to get to the bag. And bitch, one thing a bad boy does is get to the motherfucking bag, and he stands on that shit. And he's about his business. A bad boy can flip that.
I'm just like, okay, Cash, we get it, girl. But then Cash was like, yeah, you know, the tequila was hitting. So I told her to fight that bitch. So when Cash was like, yeah, fight her. Then Colton stands up, trips, and then Stan proceeds to stand up. And then Cash like, girl, what you standing up for? And she's like, yo, yeah, you want to fight? You over here talking about you want to fight? But you want to fight, da-da-da.
Listen him. About fighting right now. Shut the fuck up.
So one of the producers, he over here steps out the way, like, girl, let me get out the way. But it just starts getting, you start slowly getting elevated. So it moves from like the little chairs to the actual bar. And it is Remy, Hezzy, and Colton. So Remy's talking to Hezzy, and Colton comes over like, yeah, you're dick eating Hezzy. And he's like, no, I'm not. And then Hezzy's like, no, she's grown. She's a grown adult. She's 30 years old. She's grown.
She's grown. You're not gonna deny you're grown.
She's grown. She's on her grown person thing. And they just doing their thing. Hezzy basically says in the confessional, like, yeah, you know, I talked to Vaughn about them over here fighting at the booking. And then Hezzy was just like, girl, go at it. But then Vaughn was just like, girl, we're at the booking. Like, what are we doing? But ultimately, Vaughn was in the confessional like, girl, y'all want to fight at the booking? Like, it is what it is. I can't stop you. Whatever. Do your thing. So at the end of the episode, it's basically one-on-one. It's Hezzy and it's Remy and Colton, and they face to face. And you already know Remy look like he ready to swing, because Remy, he do that like that weird stance. I'm just like, girl, what's about to happen? And all of a sudden, Remy pops on Colton. And low-key Colton, like, you really love fighting drunk. For what reason? I don't know. Because Remy actually beat your ass. That's crazy. But Remy took the dub on that one. And I'm like, Colton, girl, we need to stop fighting drunk. That is crazy. Honestly, truly. But y'all, what do you guys think? Y'all, you know, I got some little things coming up when it comes to Bad Boys. I'm excited about that. You know, hopefully I can talk to some of your faves. Hope I can talk to, you know, Prince. If you want to come onto the line, let me know. Cash, you know, if you want to come onto the line, let me know. Remy, Mary, Colton, any of the cast members, Karam. Like, if y'all want to over here, come on, let me know. Let me know. But other than that, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. I'm about to go to the gym. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.
Brian Keith, LG, Black Butte. Bet you didn't know we the Holy Trinity. Now let a guy stop a y'all and break your head here. Step into the room and get up in the bed. It tastes sweet, that's cause I'm good. It tastes sour cause I'm better than the hood. Cause I get you hyper when I'm running all around, cause I excite ya. Let me talk real quick. You can't even get with the shit. You wanna go toe to toe with my flow? This American all I really ask you for. Now I got to go. Got, bye bye.